The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to today's Craig Proctor System training session with your host, Todd Walters.
Thank you, Andrea. Welcome, everyone. It's great to be with you today. I'm going to make a few recommendations here as we get going. First of all, you're probably a busy real estate agent. Craig Proctor and I want you to be a successful business owner. So in order to do that, we have to make time to work on our business. That's what this is today. This is a session about you growing your real estate business beyond you. You know from being around Craig Proctor that you are in, all right, you're in a business, whether you like it or not, and that business is marketing. You're in the marketing business. So that's why I like this session. That's why it's my pleasure to sit and talk with you today. So I'm going to recommend that as we get settled in here, that you grab your notepad and grab a pen. Hopefully you're watching in front of a computer at a desk, comfortable, got your coffee with you or whatever it is, your water, and your notepad and your pen, and you're ready to rock and roll. Okay, so again, this is about you growing your real estate business into one.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to the webinar with your host, Craig Proctor.
Thank you very much, Andrea. Today, we're going to be talking about improving your conversion from lead to appointment. So as we go through our webinar today, as always, you can type in your questions, and we're going to take as many questions as we can throughout the call. So please do that. Don't be shy. Type in your questions, your comments. Now, the purpose of this call is to identify not only the common mistakes that you're making in the follow-up process, but I want to coach you through the process of improving your conversion ratio once you actually speak with a prospect.
Take that one. Got this from Sandy. A couple of one business card, it's front and the back. Had two business cards in the envelope, so I pulled them out. So what is Sandy's brand? Right. Your home sold guaranteed or buy it is Sandy's brand. Look down here in the bottom left-hand corner. She's properly disclosing, I would say, that she's a RE/MAX agent at this RE/MAX sales rep at this RE/MAX broker. It says it right there. But it's now, trust me, when I first met Sandy, that wasn't the case. It was the opposite. She wasn't even using a unique selling proposition like this. But she was definitely promoting RE/MAX, whatever it was, RE/MAX Realty Enterprises. So, but that's not a benefit for sellers and buyers. Why should I list my home with you over and above anybody else, including selling it myself? Just look at your marketing. Look at your name when you Google it, just like we did. Look at your for sale signs. Look at your letterhead. Look at your emails. Everywhere your name goes, and you promote you, are you promoting your brand, which is your USP? So, I'm rendering an opinion on it more so than I am factual things. But if I'm not mistaken, okay, these reviews here, 24, 17, 13, 9, 6, whatever, Jonathan benefits when these people get business. So I think what's happening is Jonathan's living a little vicariously through each of these agents here, leveraging their reviews and whatever. I don't know if their reviews add up to be the 103 or if this is 103 plus each of these reviews. I don't know. Having a real estate sales team, how does that benefit me as a seller? That can easily be described here. Okay? Instead of team members, it could go a little bit further with more information on how that's a benefit to the prospect, giving them a reason why they should list their home with me over and above anybody else. So it could be set up a little bit better, but this is something that's newer, not brand new by any means, but newer that you can do on Zillow. You can promote your team members. Invented was less branded marketing so that you could generate prospects before they get into the competitive market. Okay? Understand that. Less branded marketing was invented before you get into the competitive marketplace. Right? So if we go back and look at the coaching site here, and we look at one thing, and I'm going to show you just a couple of things on this. Let's go to editorial ads, for example. And we want to target sellers today for our exercise. And we look at the FSBO ad. Okay? So what's interesting about this ad is it's going to target people that are primarily interested in selling their house.
Our next question is, when is the right time to bring on an ISA, and how much did you pay yours?
Okay, I brought on my first ISA when I couldn't follow up with the leads myself. And that was frustrating because, and many of you may be experiencing this, by the time you actually reach the buyer or seller, they've already done business with another agent. It was very frustrating to call a seller and they said, oh, you should have called me yesterday. I just listed my home. We definitely would have listed with you, Craig, but we just listed our house yesterday. We didn't hear back from you. So when I got to that point, that's when I hired an inside sales agent. I paid, her name is Carol. She still works at RE/MAX today.
We're going to be talking about how to select your target market and your unique selling proposition. So what we're going to talk about today is all the unique selling propositions that are available to you on the Craig Proctor System and Coaching website. We'll help you pick a unique selling proposition today that would apply to you so you can start generating leads. And most importantly, we're going to talk to you about how to select your target market. You know, who is it that you'd really want to attract, or maybe better yet, who is it that you should be working with right now? All you have to do is
go to Google Maps online and just drop a pin. Just find your area. Most people enter their zip codes or their area codes, and then just drop pins and then save it as a PDF or anything, or a screenshot. And at Google Images, I know a lot of our members use Google Images that are not copyrighted, or they buy stock photos.
Formula. And so we really want to make sure that you have that down right, and then you can hit the repeat button, set a budget. You've got the ads running, you know when they're running, and then we can move on and we can add to your lead generation sort of streams. You've got multiple pillars of lead generation, but Facebook can be a really good one, but it's really got to be done properly. So, you know, if some of you have voiced your, you know, exasperation with Facebook, honestly, it's worth it because, again, once you've got the formula cracked, and you can hit the repeat button, you don't ever have to address it again. And then we can move on to the next
tons of time on expensive, time-consuming projects. Some of them might be really worthy, but some of them might not be. So if I can come and take a look at what you're doing, I can point you in the right direction. In other words, use that as a benefit
again
for the
a couple
appointment.
of minutes, and they answer the phone at an amazing rate. Now, the ones that don't answer the phone, that see that number on there, and we've all done this. I know I've certainly done that. I've called the number and said, who is this? You know, now here, and that is the question, is you need to find out what is that voicemail required to say. And if you find out that where you are required to identify that the voicemail is coming from a realtor, then don't have a message on there at all. You're just going to have to keep doing what you're doing. But if you are able to have a voicemail that doesn't have to identify you, it can just say it's Mike, then try that. And some of those prospects will leave a message. I'm not sure I know you, Mike, but Andrea, why don't we take one more for today before we wrap it up? I know you've got a busy day of webinars and stuff as well. So we've got other webinars, by the way, as always, throughout the week. You can check your schedule on the website. But why don't we take one more question before we wrap it up?
Right, and specifically, just quickly, I want to remind everybody of our French spoken helpline clinic. That's today, this afternoon. I was sending out an email late, so I just want to remind everybody who is on, if you speak French, come on with Coach Francois Mackay, and he's going to go over ads, do a helpline session, all in the French spoken language. So join that. We have